Alrighty, we are back. So this time we have the infamous Uzul Skulltaker. Now, I already said it before in my reaction video to the trailer they dropped that Azul, in my opinion, is going to be probably the worst lord to play in the DLC. Because every time it comes in threes, you have the good, the interesting, and then just the absolutely untouchable, just the worst one ever. Like the Lord of Change DLC. A lot of people like the Changeling. A lot of people like Cathay, the Jade Dragon. No one cares about the Hag. Nobody does. So with that being said, we're going to be looking at probably the same thing. Which is that we're going to be looking at a faction that no one really cares about. We're going to be looking at a faction that probably plays the same as like most of its faction. So therefore it's not going to be interesting. So right now I'm just spreading it out through the World Wide Web. There we go. Alright, so let's watch this. Let's see what's up.
What you're about to see is pre-alpha footage of Owen to Destruction. This was recorded months in advance, so there's still some placeholders in game. We're really hard at work right now and can't wait for you to get your hands on it at release.
That guy's got a huge gap in his
Hunter, deliberate, relentless.
The eyes of Khorne blaze down upon us.
Absolutely proficient in killing. Seek out your prey, bring it down, bask in the favor of Khorne.
So let's get reaping those skulls, humiliating those lords, and showing off that fancy cloak.
I think one of the funniest things right now is they show him killing useless lords. A Bretonnian without his horse? This is heresy. Wait, motherfucker, you didn't even fight this guy.
Skulltaker.
Wait, you can't take his skull, you didn't fight him, asshole.
The cranium
Wait.
collector himself and champion of Khorne. His presence in the known world will chill the chainmail of any champion, as he seeks out worthy champions to display their skulls on his trophy case of a cloak. Those unlucky enough to start their journey in Lustria will come face to face with him. Before we begin, if you're seeking a full list of updates coming with Omens of Destruction, check out our blog through the links below.
Oh, we're checking that out,
We
baby,
began
don't
our
you worry.
campaign at Hualotl in the Guanji Valley, a beautiful sunny climate for slaughter. Skulltaker is first and foremost a fighter, with strong melee attack and the Blooded Wanderer trait, increasing his campaign movement range.
Oh, frenzy for bloodletters? Oh shit. I can't remember what Bloody Onslaught was, but 100% campaign site? Damn.
Line of sight, allowing him to focus his efforts on his target.
Execution!
Basically, don't get
That's a
it.
new ability.
Surrounded by disciples of Tzeentch, we quickly moved over to Quetax for the first step of our skull harvest. It was a modest result, which we raised for an additional Bloodhost army, expending our skulls in return for more momentum on the map. Our
Alright, well,
second attack was on Chakwe,
that's an awful
and by this
idea.
point, the lands had begun to bleed through with our corruption. The distant roars of the lizardmen just north of us have quelled, the result of Bretonnian maniacs crusading through the jungles. But they've stepped too far into these lands, and they don't know what awaits them. And so, turn 8. We've made our first attack on Albrecht's faction, raising Zahatek and spawning yet another Bloodhost army.
Skulltaker is a Khorne faction, so he abides by similar rules. You will be expanding towards your enemies, you will take over their settlements, you will sacrifice and raise them in the name of Khorne. However, we've introduced an interesting twist on this premise related to Skulltaker's Cloak of Skulls.
More on that in just a moment. We're playing a bit of a balancing game with our resources. Skulls provide us with Bloodhost armies, but we've got other uses for skulls now. Let's send one of our followers up to the settlement of Bragon to recover our lost skulls. It'll also provide a nice blow to Alberic, as raising a settlement now leaves it uninhabitable for other factions for a few turns. Be gone, Bragon. That was terrible, sorry.
Where the fuck is
Oh,
Alberic's
hello.
army? Like,
It's fine, I need the skulls. Outbreak is our first encounter with a legendary lord. His reputation on the field means he is worth more to us than a generic lord. Defeating him will earn Skulltaker 60 points of champion essence, which we can spend on buffs through our Cloak of Skulls mechanic. His army is big though, so for now we'll leave him to his ruins and target Laxland. There is another tasty Bretonian skull there I can harvest, worth 16 champion essence. Bit of an easier target for us at this stage of our campaign.
According to lore, the Skulltaker is a duelist. What he usually does is when, for example, Khorne forces are besieging a fortress, he stands before the gates of the fortress on his own and he issues a challenge. Sooner or later someone marches out to face him and they lose. Always, invariably. You will see that each of them carries a different amount of champion essence, which depends on their level of experience and on the victories that they fought. This is a resource that you will gain once you face them in battle and you defeat them. And you will use this champion essence to enhance the skulls on the cloak. Each of the skulls is giving you different bonuses. You can unlock bonuses, you can further upgrade them. So
Holy shit, this all just buffs him. It doesn't buff anyone else.
this is actually a chief part of your gameplay loop. Be on the lookout for meaty enemy lords with a lot of champion essence. Attack them, gain their champion essence, become stronger, and seek other prey for you to hunt down.
Our Cloak of Skulls holds many abilities in its noggins. For example, the Cloak of Skulls ability increases our armor and missile resistance,
Immune
as well
to
as making us
flanking?
immune to flanking.
Holy
My
shit.
original Bloodhost armies are clinging on by their claws, but they make up for the lack of recruitment I've made. Let's burn them up in one final battle and replace them as we move up north. Oh, hello Empire. What's this? Another tasty skull worth 16 essence points.
They must be playing like easy
That'll take us
difficulty.
past our threshold for the
Yeah,
next
this
skull on
has
the
to be
cloak.
easy
I don't
difficulty.
think I can turn that down. Let's give chase.
What the fuck is that? I keep seeing this. Hold
That'll
on,
take us past
hold
our
on.
threshold
What
for the
fuck
next
is
skull on the
that?
cloak. I don't think I can.
That. Why is this unit purple? Do you guys see that? It's got like a purple icon on it. It's bothering me because I don't know what the fuck that symbol is. Same with his lord, actually. He's got like some purple symbolage all over this place. Whoa.
Turn that down. Let's give chase.
Oh, charging dogs into infantry. Yeah, because, you know, we all do that, right?
My favorite unit of the Skulltaker is the Blood Beasts of Khorne. Huge, brutish, ape-like monsters that are exceptionally good on the charge. They've got
There's that
armor-piercing
purple
damage,
symbol
they
again.
induce fear in their enemies, and they have a particularly cool animation. They're particularly fun to use against goblins.
That's just a rat ogre. That's just been reskinned. That's all that is.
Goblins, you say? I hear rumors of goblin armies up in the old world. Perhaps a good spot for some champion hunting. Perhaps even a cathartic trip. I'm sure he'd like to meet the official 100th legendary lord. That is decided, right? Skulltaker? 100th? No one's going to question me. Oh, Marcus is making his way downtown. Let's move out the way and get some recruitment going for a welcome party.
The
I was gonna
Khorne Gors, in
say,
comparison to the Pestigors and Zarngors, bring forward a more aggressive, hard-hitting role. They feature all the best benefits and qualities of the Mark of Khorne, and when they've taken enough damage, their ability will trigger, which will further enhance their melee prowess.
Alberic's forces are skulking around our lands. He'll likely regrow in strength, but with a higher population of skulls north of us, I think we'll head in that direction. I have something in mind for when Alberic is worthy of my attention, but let's also arrange some backup.
The Bloodspeaker is a new lord that plays a supportive role for Khorne. He specialises in buffing units around him, and when mounted, he adds that mobility.
In order to boost our numbers further, we're going to utilize the Skull Throne, a new mechanic for Khorne that lets us spend our harvested skulls on more campaign buffs.
So I guess this is available for Valkia and Scarbrand, judging by how they just said it's a new thing for Khorne, not for Uzul.
Tiers unlock with the more skulls you spend, so once Marcus is defeated, I'll probably reduce my spend on Blood Hosts and begin building my way up the throne. For now, I'll select Blood X Nihil, which spawns us 2 extra units for our new Blood Hosts. Blood may be for the Blood God, but today, the skulls are for our cloak.
One thing I really don't like seeing right now is how this is in Lustria, and I haven't seen a single Lizardman faction this entire time. He just keeps talking about the Empire and Bretonia. Like, well, what the fuck? This is the home of the Lizardmen. Like, what the hell? They even replaced, yeah, this is the reason why I hate this DLC so far. Is like they replaced some of the Lizardmen with Tzeentch. And I can already tell the reason why they're doing that. Tzeentch faction really sucks. Really sucks. You have to have a player to utilize Tzeentch appropriately. An AI controlling Tzeentch, they're just going to charge at you in melee, they're going to lose. Here's Skulltaker, a melee-only guy. What do you think is going to happen? He's going to absolutely obliterate it. So you're not really showing me why Azul Skulltaker is so cool. You're instead showing me what you can do with him in the campaign if the campaign was so brain-dead fucking easy. Like, he keeps summoning all these blood army, blood hosts. But the problem is that every time you summon a blood host, you do pay the income on their units. And they don't replenish troops either. Well, he's got like 4 of them down, and somehow his income was like 500 still. I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? Like, stop playing on easy and show me like real gameplay footage. And here we are, where he's like already conquered half of Lustria, and now
and
he's
we're deep in the
Lizardmen.
jungles of Powalaxa. Lizardmen skulls are nice and all, but they look a bit out of place on my cloak. Regardless, the champion essence I've extracted along their Sutter-like roads has fully unlocked my target tier, giving us the ability to teleport Skulltaker to lords he deems worthy to fight.
Oh, he can teleport.
Okay. Who in my absence has been raiding my settlement and attempting to recover his dignity. He's doing fairly well. Oh, he's taking back Laxland. And yep, he's taking out Itza.
Like, see, this is what I would expect. Negative 2,600 gold income. He should have been like that at the beginning of the video, but instead he was like positive with 3 blood host armies. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. Something else that's kind of interesting to note is how the AI just seems to be letting him do things, whereas when he's like, oh, this is turn 8, we're taking over Burgon and stuff. Turn 8? Alberic is pretty damn big by that point. And so is the Hunts Marshal. And then Gorrock. Where the fuck is Gorrock in all this? Those 3 guys love battling it out with each other. And then you got Rikarth and the Jade Dragon. The problem with the Jade Dragon, too, is that, again, Azul Skulltaker is supposed to be this legendary, like, I kill lords kind of person. The moment he fights Cathay, the Jade Dragon, that guy has a spell that obliterates, like, 90% of your HP on your lord. Azul's gonna get wiped out.
96 points of essence. I think it's time.
Okay, so he can't
Before our
teleport.
attack, we'll utilize the Skull Throne one more time.
Does he teleport to only
We've
units he
amassed a
can
hefty
see?
pile of skulls and can replenish our army to its full health.
Oh my god, that is OP shit. Oh my god, that is OP as fuck. I love how it says Valiant Defeat even though it's only like 3 Grail Knights. That's pretty realistic. They do have more new Khorne units I haven't seen before. They look like cultists. How dare you land on the ground?
My favourite
bastard.
unit, it's definitely got to be the Slaughter Brute. It's this large hulking creature that has very little that can stop it in combat. Very proficient in taking down its enemies.
It's got the same model as the
Skylar Anthengrim can be summarised as kill for Khorne. It's all we can say. It's going to be the last thing you hear, and he's very good at it.
yeah, there's some Forsaken. Oh yeah.
Scar Bloodwrath is our frontline hero who's themed around both self-revival and healing. He's going to be very difficult to take down. The Wrathmongers is a unit that I feel the players will get behind, and that's primarily because of their weapons, the Wrath Flails. That enables them to deal devastating splash attacks and in general just hard armor-piercing attacks.
Yeah, some more cultists. Okay.
The Skull Reapers are similar to the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. While they have less armor, they are in no way less effective in combat. They are absolutely devastating against infantry whilst being cost effective.
I've been trying to get Outbreak all battle, but he keeps flying around. This should trap him in position for us.
That's what I was wondering what that ability was. I saw it earlier and I was like, what is that?
Alberic may have recovered from our initial meeting, but upon his triumphant return, he has only proved himself a more worthy opponent to the Skulltaker. With his glory finally in view, the Cloak of Skulls, will Skulltaker live up to his name? Let us know in the comments below, or follow our links to wishlist now.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to be pretty much right about this, which is that Azul's going to probably be one of those lords who dies within like turn 10. Starting in Lestria, they kind of neglected the fact that, you know, Cathay is in there, and then they also neglected the fact that Gorrock is there. Like, look at this starting position. He starts right above Gorrock, and Gorrock is definitely going to have a problem with this, and he's going to kick his ass. The other issue, too, is that for some reason, where the fuck are the Bretonnians? You're telling me you see all 3 of his settlements, and you just raised one of his cities, and his army is nowhere in sight? Nowhere on this map do I see a single army. Like, clearly they're doctoring the game to make it look like this faction is amazing. And I understand that for trailer purposes, but if you're going to say, like, this is gameplay showcasing, this is absolutely disingenuous. And I already know what's going to happen is every game I play, I'm going to be sitting there, oh yeah, we're attacking the dwarf hold of Karazakarak. Turn 8, boom. Azul Skulltaker has been eliminated. Home? Like, I already know that's what's going to happen. But here's what I was talking about. He's got, like, 3 armies at this point. Positive income. As Khorne, you almost, like, never have positive income. So that's kind of why I'm like, how the fuck do you have positive income? With 3 Bloodhost armies, and then you have, like, the main army on top of that? Like, no fucking way. No.
Alberic, as raising a settlement now leaves it uninhabitable for other factions for a few turns. Be gone, Bragon. That was terrible, sorry.
Something else I don't understand is
the gates of the fortress on his own,
this
and
part.
he issues a challenge.
So this is correct. This is what Azul's known for. He issues out challenges, and then people come out of their castles and fight him and lose. I don't know how you're supposed to show that in a game. Like, if someone's lord is all the way in the back at the cap point, and I issue a challenge, I'm going to be waiting for a long-ass time for that lord to get to the front gate and then come out. So, what's the point? And also, not only that, but they showed Azul's stats, and the one thing that was good, stat-wise, was his, where was it? It was his, melee attack. His melee attack is fire and magical, and he's anti-infantry, and he's armor-piercing. So this is really good, stat-wise. Armor is a little mediocre, kind of crap. Speed's alright. Defense is kind of low. Charge bonus is crap. So what I'm kind of expecting for Azul Skulltaker is I'm expecting him to have a big issue with mages. Like, with only 6,400 HP, he can get targeted very, very easily. Very fast. So, Wulfric, when he's in there with his expeditions, he could just have all of his archers and all of his handgunners just target this guy, and he's wiped out. You could also see Grail Knights just come in and pummel this guy into the absolute fucking dirt. So his HP value is not good, and his low armor value is, while it's expected, because he's a, bloodletter. The problem with that, though, is that means that he's going to be Swiss cheese. So he may be Azul Skulltaker. I'm going to call him Azul Skull Giver, because he's going to be giving out his skull pretty easily. So now I actually feel like I want to play Alberic, just because I know if I kill this guy, I'll get some legendary buff for free. Or Gorok even. Gorok's easy as hell. So the fact that they didn't show Gorok at all in this trailer is already telling you, like, okay, yeah, Azul's probably gonna suck dick.
attack, and the Blooded Wanderer.
Like, the one thing I was expecting for this was I was expecting them to show him versus Clan Pestilence. Because Clan Pestilence is down there, and Clan Pestilence really, really isn't doing too good. So it would make sense for Azul to target the Skaven and farm a bunch of skulls, and then kill Lord Skrulk very easily. And then with that momentum, with that increased ability, he could take out Gorok, he could take out Alberic and Wolfheart. But the fact they're not showing that tells me already that this campaign's going to be rough. There is a new symbol now for when you raise settlements. I see there's a cooldown timer. I'm assuming when you raise a settlement, that means that you have this many turns before you can recolonize it. The reason why I'm saying that is because it has been an issue lately where I'll raise a settlement and AI just swoops right in and recolonizes it, like in front of my tits. And I go, whoa, dude, did you just do that? And then I wipe him out again and destroy his settlement again. So I do think that's going to be the purpose of this, is to slow down people doing that. I do say this, though. I really wish, I really wish that they would make another Slaanesh Lord. And I do wish they would make another, possibly another Lizardman faction. Because right now, Lustria is full of non-Lizardmen. There is like no Lizardman factions in Lustria. I think what they need to do is do Chanhuapek and possibly do another Slann Lord. Because right now we just have Mazda Mundi. That's it. But if we do Chanhuapek, there is a Slann there. He's a legendary lord. We could do him. And then his whole thing would be just raining down meteors. And that would be really fucking sick. It's like, oh, look, the bloodletters are charging in. Oh, look, here comes all these undead dudes. And you just see like 5 meteors come raining down the fucking sky. And that could be his thing, is that any spell he cast it 2 times or 3 times. So for just 1 wins a magic spell, you're actually casting 2 of it. That could be really cool. That could be really awesome. Oh, he's casting the Comet of Cassandra. Oh, it's actually 2 comets because of the trait he has. That could be a really interesting playthrough. But as it stands, it's making Lustria less and less palpable for people to play. This isn't just me talking. This is like a lot of honest criticism. A lot of people keep saying about how much they hate playing Lustrian factions now because it's just so full of things. And in fact, the world does feel kind of full. One thing that I would think they would benefit a lot from in the next DLC for Total War. So there's 2 DLCs I would really, really love to see. I would love to see an expanded map. So now the maps are bigger. And by making it bigger, you add more factions. Now, the only problem is that the game has so many factions in it, it already kind of hurts your processing power to end your turn. But I still think that would be beneficial just for the immersion. I also think that they need to do a second DLC called Mortal Lords. Not immortal, mortal. As in, there is no legendary lords. And any legendary lords that are in the game are like rare, and they're only defending their capitals. So if I go to Karak Kadrin, there would be Ungrim Ironfist. If I go to Karaz-Karak, there would be Thorgrim Grudgebearer. But besides that, the player in every faction have no legendary lords. And it would be like the Daniel thing where you just outfit your guy appropriately and you level them up. I think that would be more fun. And I think that would be more interesting because then it would be more role-playing where you're not just sitting there like, oh, I'm tic-tac-toe. Oh, okay, I'm still tic-tac-toe. Okay, I'm still tic-tac-toe. Like, no. Now you can create your own guy. Like, I'm going to make Sleety Heaty. And it's like, what's Sleety Heaty? It's like, oh, he's a Cold One Rider skink. And Sleety Heaty's just going to have all these buffs that I have because I made him wear all this armor that increases Cold One charge bonuses. So now I have a faction led by Sleety Heaty. That's a Lizardman faction. It's all based on Cold Ones. That could be really cool. That could be really awesome. I think the Immortal Empires, they were touching on the cusp of that awesome idea when they made the Chaos faction Daniel, where you could play and you can outfit your guy with whatever Chaos God you want. I think that's what they were going for, but unfortunately so many people hated that faction. They didn't see the potential that it could be any faction. It could be all the factions. I think that'd be much cooler gameplay than more and more Legendary Lords. More and more Legendary Lords is kind of getting too much. And I understand Warhammer Fantasy does have way more. Like, they're bragging about this being the 100th Legendary Lord. Dude, there's like 600 more Legendary Lords. Way more. But it does make the map too convoluted. It makes it too difficult to try to navigate everything. And then not only that, it makes it where some of the lords play the exact same. Like Azul Skulltaker, I said in my reaction video for the trailer, Azul Skulltaker is a lord assassin. He's meant to find a lord and assassinate him. Great. Half of Chaos's roster is lords who assassinate lords. Sigvald, then you got Azazel, you got Nakari, all Slaanesh guys. They assassinate lords. But then you also have the other factions like Norska, Wulfric the Wanderer. He is a lord hunter. It's like, it's getting too many lord hunters. Way, way, way too many. So I would love to see them kind of dial it down. What I really want to see a gameplay showcase of is, I think they were showing Khorne, but I think that's a bit of a mistake. They should have showed Golgfag Maneater. Because right now, Khorne, everyone likes playing Khorne. If you play Scarbrand, you know you're going to have a good campaign that's relatively fun because you could just go wherever the hell you want and just cause chaos. Ogres, though, ogres are in a really bad spot in the campaign because they're so difficult and they're so boring at the same time. So I think if they showed Golgfag Maneater instead of Azul Skulltaker, I think that would be a much better marketing position, because then we would see like, oh wow, this campaign really is cool. This campaign's much better than the other two ogre characters we have. Right now I'm hoping that Golgfag Maneater is a horde, because we don't have enough horde factions these days. It's kind of upsetting. Like, I liked it when Chaos was a horde faction. I liked that a lot. Now they're no longer horde factions because they have their fortresses that they set up, which is still cool. But I prefer the horde faction because that's what you're supposed to be, is this roving warband of elite warriors. And Golgfag Maneater is just that. He's this roving mercenary with this huge army of mercenaries. So I hope that's one of his campaign mechanics, is that he can recruit anywhere he goes, any type of unit. And he's an ogre. That would be perfect for him because he's supposed to be the mercenary dude. That would be awesome. It's like, what? Golgfag Maneater, wait, you have grudge throwers in your army? Yep. Went to the dwarves, did a job for them. Now I'm able to recruit from them. It's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But we'll see. We'll see where this all leads to. The new Khorne units that they're showing off, I do approve of. I think are really, really good. The Blood Beast of Khorne is basically like your troll unit, so I'm not sure exactly how they're supposed to work out. Because these guys are supposed to be like the Chaos Trolls, but for Khorne. I don't know why they didn't just do that, but they did Blood Beast of Khorne. They don't have regeneration, which is already kind of like a danger sign. Danger, danger, warning, warning. But they look like they can get sniped relatively fast and relatively easily. With only 30 armor, they could get sniped pretty hardcore by skink chameleons and by high elf archers. So we'll see how that works out. They do have frenzy. In fact, a lot of these units have frenzy, which is good. That's a good note. They added the Beastmen, the Khorne Golds. Honestly, they shouldn't even show this. That should have been just in the game right off the start. It's kind of stupid when they show things that should have been in. Because they had the Slan Gores, the Zinch Gores and shit. Like, you need to add all the Gores into the Chaos factions, not just the Khorne Ghouls. Where is it? I do wish they had Cultists as, like, cannon fodder, where they can retreat just like the Goblins could, and it doesn't affect everyone else's morale, because they're expendable. But, There it is. They did add some more monster units that are also heroes, and that's good. I'm wondering what this little brand symbol is supposed to stand for, but they're unbreakable, which could be a problem. Unbreakable units are not always good, because unbreakable units could mean you suffer way more casualties when you lose a battle than you should have, because this guy's pulling a fucking General Custard and is saying, like, now we make our stand, and it's like, no, dude, no, the fuck, we're not making our stand, retreat. But we'll see how that works out. Doesn't seem like they did anything like giving buffs for assassinating the lords. So they did kind of touch on that, where you can shackle an enemy lord so they're stuck and they have to fight Azul Skulltaker. But they didn't really say if there's any benefit to it. I get it, killing a lord is a benefit in of itself, because now the entire army suffers morale penalties. But if we had gotten some sort of incentive to do that, then that would have been much, much greater. I will say this, them adding more Chaos guys, these guys have only 32 units in them, so this is considered like a super elite tier unit. And stat-wise, they do look it. 80 armor is pretty decent. Speed 35, kind of slow. I think that's slow as the dwarves. Could be a little slower. Armor piercing and bonus versus infantry, that's always a good thing. You always want to see bonus versus infantry. Frenzy trait, which is even better. And then they have some symbol here that I can't really read. But with this kind of unit, the Wrathmongers, they're probably not meant for frontal assaults. They're probably more meant for flanking. And honestly, they look like they kick ass. Just judging by their stats, they look like they do kick ass. Of course, the only issue is that the Vampire Coast is right in Lustria. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but the Vampire Coast will see this, and they're going to put so many bullets in this. It's going to be insane.
Devastating.
There we go. So Skull Reapers is one of the units that I'm really curious about, because I do think Khorne needs these. I think they need Cultist added to like the Chaos factions. So Chaos Demons should have Cultists that the other Chaos factions don't have access to. So the Cultists are supposed to be kind of like chaff. Like, you just go out there, sacrifice yourselves, die in the thousands just to make me happy. I think that that would be really cool, especially as like a WOG mechanic. So when you declare a WOG, you get a free second army attached to your army. So you're actually two armies in one. I think this would be really cool if you had insane chaos corruption and you sat in a province for a while, that meter would build up, and before you know it, you just have a 2,000 army of just cultists. And the cultists are probably slightly better than Bretonnian peasants, not much, but I think this could be a cool unit that serves that kind of function, where you just go out, kill maybe 30 guys, all 60 of you will fucking die, but it's fine. Let my demons do the real work. I think that would be really, really fucking cool. There's also a new symbol here on their melee attack. I'm curious what that stands for. But it seems like every unit has Frenzy, which is good. That's what Khorne is supposed to be. Let's rewind that a bit. What did that say? Cannot move, and it lasts for 5 seconds. Are you fucking kidding me? I can only use this once and it lasts for 5 seconds? Oh boy. Unless I'm reading that wrong. Yeah, duration 34 seconds. Still, it's not a lot of time to get the damage in, especially since Khorne doesn't have any ranged units. So, trying to get a bunch of melee guys to swarm Albric like he already has, it's not doing much damage. Albric's level 25, that's some bullshit. That is not... It's not the way that works. I am surprised Azul doesn't do like a buff to Juggernauts, because that's what I was expecting. I was expecting him to do a lot of buffing to the Juggernauts. So maybe I was wrong in my reaction video where I said this faction seems to be based about a lot of cavalry. Gorbad is all about the boars. Azul seems to be about Juggernauts. Seems like I'm wrong. So that means Gorbad will probably be all about the cavalry, whereas Azul and Golgfag are going to be about two separate things entirely. I still haven't heard from them what the free DLC Lord is, but let's look at their blog. Let's kind of go over it. Slayer Sword. Skulltaker's flaming demonic sword applies the dazed effect, reducing a target's weapon strength and armor piercing damage while boosting his own. Oh boy. Cloak of Skulls. Greatly boosts his ward save. Oh shit. And spell resistance. Okay, so that kind of answers one of my issues I was saying. Bloody Onslaught gets increased armor pen. Scylla and Fingrim. Explosion. Mindless and savage. Scylla produces an explosion from his body, causing severe disruption, sending enemies. Okay. So he's a, suicide bomber. Cool. Serpentine tail. Whipping his tail, he inflicts direct damage in a radius around him. Brass collar. This is what I saw. Brass collar grants ward save and magic resistance based on the number of kills. Okay. So it's like Scarbrand's axes. It increases based on how much damage he does. A nigh unstoppable force gets increased speed, and charge bonus, all while scanning the glorious charge. Okay. Scar Blood Wrath. Okay, yes. Da. Specializes anti-infantry and armor piercing. See, like, a lot of these armor piercing things would be really good against dwarves. They would be good against elves. But they would not be so good against Bretonia too much. Like, yes, the knights have really high armor, but you're looking more at like their squires and their men-at-arms and their peasants. The only thing that it would really suck against the elves for is when the elves start deploying nothing but fucking archers. That gets awful. Bloodthirst, yep. The more he heals when he kills, okay. Bloodborne, when health drops low, he receives a burst of health, the quantity of which is directly tied to his Bloodthirst ability and number of units he's killed. Okay. Nice. Scaramore's Butchers, ever the keen strength, culling the weak. Okay, provides nearby troops passive bonus. Okay, increased weapon strength and armor sundering. Oh shit. Significant damage and anti-infantry bonus in short duration. Okay. So Blood Speakers, this is the new lords. Enhances units around them with buffs. Gain additional mobility. Yeah, okay. So nothing really yet on these. Slaughter Brutes. The Slaughter Brute model is literally the model of the Kadai from Chaos Dwarves. So that's why I'm not really too caring about the model appearance. And also the fact they went with like an insect look is kind of weird. I don't know, when I think of corn, I don't think of insects. Okay. High armor piercing, yep. Unbreakable while in the presence of an alive lord. Oh, wow. Wrathmongers. Yep, we already looked at them. Alright, so these are the legacy updates. This is what's added for all the Scorn guys. Yeah, this is a Scarbrand right now. I can tell right off the bat because he's in the middle of fucking God knows nowhere Badlands. Yeah. And he does get the Skull Thrones. Okay. Alright, so they're improving the UI, okay. Spawns army to fight at the source. Take control of an unoccupied ruin. It will be a tier 2 settlement if you upgrade it. Okay. Well, that could be kind of useless. Target settlements raised. and target settlements province will become fully corn corrupted. Holy shit. That could be OP as fuck if you just target like Lothern. You just find Ultuan and you just go, oh, that's your capital? Lothern? Boom. One click and the whole fucking city is destroyed. Okay, this is kind of a problem. Oh, blood hosts no longer incur upkeep. Oh, that's why he had like 3 fucking dudes and had no goddamn upkeep cost. Okay. Recruitment cost is decreased, so yeah, corn might be able to actually be useful now. So the main economic buildings now for corn are not to make gold, but instead to reduce gold cost, which is smart. That's the way it should be. Because whenever I have corn, all my buildings give me like 20 gold. 20 gold is nothing, dude. I wipe my ass with 20 gold. That's not going to help anything. 20 gold doesn't even cover the cost of Skaven slaves. So yeah, no, that's useless. So by them switching it to now instead reducing the cost, and my economy is mostly by raiding, sacking, and looting, that makes more sense. Ah, okay. We recognize the demonic units were not aligning with the lore-inspired resilience, often making mortal units the preferred choice. Yeah. To address this, we introduced a new feature for all demonic factions, demonic reforging. Now, all demon units have a chance to be reforged after dying in battle, as they can never truly be killed outside the realm of chaos. Oh, shit. It's a low chance, but the probability is influenced by other factors. Okay. New corn tree technology. Cool. So these require victories to unlock. Okay. Same stuff to the old tech tree apparently with buffs, but some new tweaks. Reoccupation immunity. While playing as corn, we noticed that the AI would often occupy recently raised regions. Yeah, I was right. Blocking corn's intended expansion into these areas. To solve this, we've introduced a reoccupation immunity for regions raised by corn factions. Now, once a corn faction raises a region, it cannot be recolonized. So it only applies to corn factions. That's kind of gay, but whatever. I preferred if it was orcs as well and other things, but whatever. In creating this new state for raised regions, we revisited the Beastman faction to improve clarity around blocked units. Okay. So that's pretty much it with the corn stuff. They're doing a lot of things fixing the corn, but they're also fixing a few other things. Am I too excited for it? Not specifically for Skulltaker. I think Skulltaker's campaign is going to be ass just because he's surrounded by legendary lords. The probably the best route to go if you do play Azul Skulltaker is to go to Clan Pestilence and wipe them out, because they're the easiest, squishiest guys you could target. But once you wipe them out, you're still surrounded by a bunch of hard-hitting motherfuckers. You got dinosaurs, you got Grail Knights coming at you, you got Wolfheart's Expedition, where he's got insane gunpowder units and heroes. It's going to be a rough one, and it's going to feel like a slog to get through. It's not going to be an enjoyable slog. It's going to just feel like a slog. And that's kind of the problem with Lustria, and that's the reason why a lot of players avoid Lustria. It's because it feels so grindy. It feels so tedious to just get through a single province because of all the legendary factions that are in this area. And then to make it even worse, most of those legendary factions aren't even lizardmen. They're not. They're just fucking random dudes. Like, why is there Zinch demons at the beginning of the game? Like, what the fuck? That shouldn't be there. And of course I get it, Zinch demons are easy to fight as Khorne, so I get it. But the problem is that if you just put him next to Lord Skrulk, it would give Lord Skrulk a hard-ass time, and again, it would make his playthrough even harder, because Lord Skrulk already has it bad. He has Plague Magic, but Plague Magic is useless against heavily armored targets, and guess what lizardmen are considered? Heavily armored. So his faction kind of sucks already. So he has to play like Clan Scryer with bullets, mortars, catapults. And now you add this in the mix, guys who will just disintegrate his Skaven slaves. Like, Lord Skrulk is fucked, okay? And that's a shame, because Clan Pestilence is my favorite Skaven clan. But overall, I think this is going to be interesting to see. Mostly because I'm not going to play it. I'm going to play Gorbad, and I'm going to play Golgfag. Those two are the ones I'm going to play. I'm not probably going to touch Azul Skulltaker for quite a while. So besides that, see you guys next time. What do you guys think about my reaction? Do you guys think Free 700, you're full of shit? This is going to be the best campaign in the goddamn DLC? Or do you think that, you know, I'm actually kind of right? Like, not only is this lord kind of not really interesting, lore-wise, they could have chosen much better lords to replace this, but they also chose a region that's way too full. It's got way too much shit in it. They need to expand the region and make the map bigger, add more cities, add more provinces, add more lizards to the damn region before they go adding more factions. But besides that, I would love to see what you guys think. See you guys next.